Hello YouTube, welcome to a Flight Simulator X add-on review. Just kidding, today we're looking at Flight Simulator X imported add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Stay tuned. Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and welcome back to another video. Now, as I said at the beginning, we're taking a look at some add-ons that have been ported from Flight Simulator X, but are still pretty good quality, so it'll be a trip down memory lane for many. If you're new here, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. I do flight training videos, flight sim videos, trip reports and a lot more. So if you love everything about aviation, you've certainly come to the right place. But now let's hop into this video. Okay, so starting off, we're here in a 747-400. Of course, a very popular aircraft in Flight Simulator X. Now, this version was ported over from Flight Simulator X, but unlike many ports, it's got a working cockpit. Now, sadly, this cockpit is basically the 747-8 cockpit that is in the default Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it's nice that we've got a 747-400 to some extent in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're going to take it for a flight and see how the flight model is. I really do love the 747-8 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so it'll be interesting to see how this model matches up. Okay, so here we are, just at 9,000 feet, I believe. We're on multiplayer, so you can see numerous aircraft in the sky. And I have to say, while it does feel a little fast in places, it does fly really well. I'm actually really impressed. But we're now going to hop into the cockpit and see what we've got in there. Okay, so as you can see in the cockpit, it is the 747-8 cockpit. I'm pretty sure nothing has changed. Sadly, it would appear that the throttle quadrant doesn't work too well. With my Thrustmaster throttle quadrant, as you can see, we're overspeeding now because I have no control over the throttle quadrant. So I'm going to reload in and see if that's just a bug with Microsoft Flight Simulator. As you can see, I've got full control of my throttle again, so I imagine that that was just a bug with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I can use all my controls with it now. As you'd expect, it is basically the 747-8 cockpit. Overall, the flight model is actually pretty good with this. It flies better than it did in Flight Simulator X, so I really recommend this one if you want some nostalgia. Now, of course, it's not the real deal. However, I'm pretty sure the developer is working on it. You can see we've got them weird light bugs we have with ports. But let's hope the developer works on the cockpit and we get something quite reminiscent to the 747-400. Now, the developer is also working on an A320. So that is a development I'm really excited for. I love the A321. We're now going to take a look at another interesting Flight Simulator export. Tell me what you guys think of this one. I do think it's really interesting. It does fly like how I imagine it would somewhat fly. And it does feel really good. Perfectly heavy, but not too heavy that you can't move it about. And it does look beautiful. It's had a bit of a glow up from Flight Simulator X. Now let's move on. Now, I have to say, I was really blown away by this aircraft. This is the Fokker D21 from 1938, and we've also got the 1940 version, I believe. Now, this is from a fantastic website that I highly recommend. I've been using it since I first started flight simulation. I used it with Flight Simulator X and it is a very fantastic website. I've never had any problems. They have installers for every aircraft, meaning you don't even have to worry about putting it in your community file yourself. Now, this aircraft is very special because it has got its own custom cockpit. Now, it's a surprise that we've got a Flight Simulator exported aircraft with a 3D cockpit of its own that actually works. Now, as you can see already, we've got some bugs on the slip indicator in front of us. You can see it's going to the right a bit. I'm not too sure if that's because of my rudder pedals confusing it. However, it does work pretty well except from that. The highlight of the show is this exterior. Flight Simulator 2020 has really brought it to life. We're now going to take off and see how it performs. Okay, so we're now ready to take off. I've got to be careful because this is a sloped runway and I'm pretty sure this aircraft is quite sensitive, so expect it not to be perfect. But anyway, let's take off now. Release parking brakes. Ooh, what's it doing? I don't know what happened there. Apparently, as it's tail dragging, something happens. Are we up? We're up. Okay, maybe I encountered a bit of a bug there with the flight model. But aside from that, it seems to fly pretty well. It does. It's fun to fly. I'm actually very impressed. You can see I was applying left rudder there. I believe this aircraft, maybe they've overmodeled the slipstream with the propeller. I'm not too sure, but that would seem to be a problem there. There we go, we're leaving an RAF base behind. It looks very nice. The detail on the propeller is pretty excellent. Now I should say there is another livery available for this aircraft. I'm not using it today because I don't want the video to go on for too long. Just a short little video showcasing 2 Flight Simulator exported aircraft. I'm actually very impressed with both of these. The 747-400 looks beautiful, and I'm pretty sure we can expect some sort of modelled cockpit in the future. And this Fokker D21 is actually pretty beautiful. It's not easy to fly, I'm not going to say it is, and I'm not too sure if that is just the aircraft or the flight model, but it's a fun one. We haven't had too many military aircraft in Flight Simulator so far, so this is a nice addition, a little bit of history. It's always nice to have an old warbird. I recommend both of these, to be fair. They are more fun than they are practical, but it's all about fun if I'm completely honest, because let's be honest, Flight Simulator exports aren't going to be too realistic anyway. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you love aviation, you've certainly come to the right place, so hit that button right now to stay up to date with the best flight simulation videos on YouTube. Thanks to all my captains as always, it really does help me out. I do love doing add-on videos like this, taking a look at many around the internet. That's going to be all from me today guys, thanks for watching, goodbye.